Guys, the world's going crazy.
Yep.
It is.
Yes.
In a hand basket, decorated for Red Riding Hood.
Keep going.
I'm interested where the story's going.
I want to know where she's going in the story.
I'm invested.
All right.
You got our attention.
So there's the story of Red Riding Hood, guys.
Is that it?
Come on. Okay, good. So you got Red Riding Hood, and we'll call Red Riding Hood us. And then, no, actually, we're the picnic. And we're in the handbasket. And America is Red Riding Hood carrying the handbasket all willy-nilly, walking right into the blazing fiery pits of the big bad wolf.
Ah.
He's got fire now?
He's got super
In his eyes.
Fire in his eyes. I love it, man. That's a beautiful
good story.
metaphor for the dark story that is happening in this world today.
Right?
I don't know how accurate, but that's pretty good.
Hey,
It was pretty good. So hold on, I'm trying to grasp
we're
this.
the picnic basket.
We're the picnic basket.
No, we're the picnic.
We're the picnic.
In the basket.
We're the picnic in the basket.
We're the presence of freedom. Coming right
I guess
down.
America would be the basket
We're the
because
goodies.
we're the goodies in the basket. America is the basket.
It's a nice basket.
Biden is Red Riding Hood.
Put the lotion in the basket. Biden.
So she doesn't know which direction she's going.
She confuses
Thought
a
she-
wolf as
thought
her
she went to-
grandma.
thought she went-
Let's put it that way.
That story makes so much more sense now.
Well, she thought
She
she
went to grandma's house and ended up going to the wood shop or whatever.
The wood chipper?
Oh, the what is he? Who's the guy? The hunter? Hunter?
Oh,
gets-
the huntsman?
woodsman?
The woodsman.
Was it a woodsman? It was a woodsman.
Yeah.
In that story, right? Yeah. Skipped grandma's and went straight to the woodsman, thinking it was grandma,
Makes so much sense.
and left the basket back in the.
Welcome to one of our Fives a Crowd Squirrel episodes.
That's right. Basically, there's a lot of stuff going on in our world today. And we're going to present to you our hot takes on the things that are going on.
Uh-oh.
And just to help you, I'm going to give you a quick definition of hot take. Hot take is a piece of commentary typically produced quickly in response to a recent event.
Wow.
So it's a take.
That's
That is-
real hot.
That is rather hot.
Which means sometimes not all information is present when hot take is taken.
Wow.
Sometimes you
Duly
gotta
noted.
blow on the hot take. Let
Give
it
it a
cool
little more.
off.
We got to fan the place.
Sometimes you gotta.
You need a hot pad.
Sometimes you gotta push up that hot take a little bit later too, correct it a little. You know.
But to give a little more insight, we are filming this on on
day
February
of-
24th.
Yes.
Today is the day that Russia decided to
Attack
invade
Ukraine.
They're not invading. They're freeing the two.
Was it today though that they actually invaded?
Oh, I guess actually,
was
well,
last night.
it depends because they're hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was in the night, which was probably their morning of today.
Got you.
But essentially, we're gonna give some of our hot takes on the situation because I realized this today. Okay, and this is one of the craziest things about it that actually blows my mind is that we are going to view war in a way we never have been able to before.
Yes.
Social media was not as huge and prevalent as it is now
yeah.
at this time. We already are seeing tons of videos
Oh, it's
on TikTok, on
Yeah.
Instagram, all over the place of like war in full on HD.
I feel like it puts it in I guess real life, like it puts it into perspective. Mm-hmm. Because like we were all around for 9/11. We saw 9/11 on the news, the towers getting hit, things like that, but the actual war footage we didn't really see. And so you hear about it, but in our own little bubble over here, it's hard to really grasp it.
Well, imagine this too. If everybody had their phones and they were like, I don't think we're gonna make it out, and they're putting all this on social media, all the people, the victims
in the
Yeah.
towers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a
Oh my
whole different
gosh,
concept.
I didn't even.
Yeah, well, because you look at the other footage, it's almost it almost does create a layer of separation because like I can think of World War I, World War II videos where it's just a video of a plane dropping bombs, but you don't see the people. The ground is so far away. You may see a building get blown up, but you don't feel it as deeply as that, like that first video I sent you guys today.
Up front and personal.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a
my
video
heck.
that's a man in Ukraine takes out of his window of a freaking it's probably a MiG or something like that, like
yeah.
flying super low and launching multiple missiles like right past his house. Mm-hmm. And then you hear a child cry in the background.
That was seriously the child screaming is what gave me chills. Well, because I'm watching the video, I didn't read the title to it or anything, but I'm watching the video expecting like a lightning strike right in the backyard or something because it was kind of cloudy and misty, and so I was like, "Oh, what am I watching?" And then all of a sudden, that jet flies through, shooting the missiles, and the child screaming and everything. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Well, and I mean, up to this point, really, all that we've really had to relate to war has been Hollywood-produced content,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, for us to experience and almost, in a way, kind of relive like World War II or any of those, it's always going to be a Hollywood-produced film. But now, like you guys are saying, we're seeing so much content released about this just through social media. It almost removes that layer of, I can't think of the word. It just makes it much more real to
It
Fiction.
removes
It takes
the
away
veil
the
almost.
Yeah.
It takes away the looking glass away.
exactly.
It's like you're looking at an aquarium, but now you're in the aquarium.
It's almost like when you take a black and white photo and it looks so old and outdated, and then someone colorizes it, and all of a sudden it feels modern.
It feels
Yeah.
more
and
real,
and you
more
no
modern.
longer look at it as something that's farce. It's something that's real. And I don't know, man. Social media is wild about that.
Well, there's already so much out about it that I didn't know it just happened today or this morning or last night, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it's happened within the last 24 hours. There's so much out. I'm like, did this happen like a couple days ago? Like I thought.
Oh yeah, dude, they've done so much already.
Well, yeah, they already took over Chernobyl.
They took over Chernobyl, which it's funny because when I heard that today, I was like,
That's Dead
"That's a
Space.
stupid idea."
That's Dead Space anyway.
I was
Yeah.
like, nobody lives there. Nothing's going on. There's just a giant hunk of corium, which is still super freaking nuclear
Radioactive?
and radioactive.
Yeah, you can't be
know-
there for longer than a day and
Yeah,
they'll kill
you
or
can't
something.
do anything with it.
When I read that they wanted Chernobyl, my brain instantly went Cameron as far as conspiracy theory.
I'm not saying.
That there's something in Chernobyl that the Russians know about that Ukraine's been hiding.
Dude, we should do a total podcast on Chernobyl because that is
Yes.
so wild.
Yes.
I didn't realize the depth of Chernobyl until I watched that mini docuseries. And oh my god,
You'll never trust anybody again.
dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that also in a way, like I just watched Chernobyl maybe like a few weeks ago,
I need to watch
and
it. so-
now it's almost set that precedent in my mind that this is kind of how Russia operates. And you know, Ukraine is there like hiding things.
Well, and that it was the Soviet Union at the time, wasn't it?
yes.
USSR.
Yeah, and actually that was part of the Soviet Union. Still.
Well, and I've heard that's why is Ukraine was getting more and more democratic. Is that the right word? And that's why Russia got so pissed off is because Putin wants the Soviet Union back.
Well, so I've been listening. I've been researching it all day, kind of trying to better understand what's going on, and I did find some stuff about that essentially. So back in the like late 80s, early 90s, there was a NATO agreement with, at that time, Gorbachev, the guy who was over the Soviet Union,
okay.
essentially.
Yeah.
And there was an agreement with him that NATO wasn't going to push past the Eastern Europe. So we agreed we won't go into Eastern Europe. And over the years since then, NATO has grown from only 12 countries to like over 30 countries. So, and for those of you who don't know, NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So basically it's a big organization and a group of allies and alliances that we are part of. and that it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna go to bat, we're gonna protect each other, we're gonna be there for you. There's like certain requirements they have to meet to be able to be part of NATO, and since the early 90s, NATO has extended into the even up to Poland, which is right on the border of Russia. And we actually have, like, I guess, a base there with potential nukes that could be sitting in Poland, really close to the Russian border. So you think back. So I had a friend at work kind of saying, think back to like the Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia was essentially doing the same kind of thing to us. They were planting a nuke really close to us and just sitting it there. So in a way, it could be viewed from their end as the same thing. So they're fearful of us getting too close, encroaching on them. There's ideas that Ukraine was kind of being prepped to possibly become a NATO country. Ukraine's a big country.
They've been asking to join NATO though.
They have a large chunk of land too that would get Russia deeper into Europe, into a more strategic place. And I was listening to another podcast today where they were talking about, you look at Russia and their economy is not great.
No.
Their GDP. What did you say that was again? I can't remember.
Gross domestic
Product.
Profit.
gross domestic profits.
Their GDP is the
less.
same as the state of Florida.
I thought it was less.
Holy
Didn't you
dang.
say
It's like the same or a little less.
Yeah.
But like
Comparable.
that's only one state.
one state of the 50? Yeah.
So like their economy is not good.
Well, no, sorry, I'm interrupting bad, but didn't their full stock market crash now with all this?
I haven't seen.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
All the stock market crashed
stock
today.
market was-
Hardcore, dude.
Yeah.
It's been tanking for like a month.
I logged into Facebook at 8 a.m. and my top 3 posts from certain friends were like, "Don't look at the stock market today." I'm like, "Oh no,
Do not.
I haven't looked. I'm too scared."
Good thing I don't save money.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
Chris is a mattress
it'll
guy.
It'll come back up. Just wait.
just gotta
wait.
buy in the dips.
Just leave it alone.
You gotta buy in the dips.
You gotta
Buy
buy
some
in
more.
the dips.
Yeah.
Buy some more.
Yeah. But also from people I've been talking to kind of are in and know about this, they say that Russia's economy is on the brink of collapse, and so they're trying to do anything to get a bit of hope. Because I mean,
So
they're-
taking over a
Well, think
country is a
about it.
bit of
yeah,
hope.
well for them, yeah.
Well, think of
trying to the glory of Russia.
I know exactly where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Basically what Chris just said, you got to look like their economy is garbage. They can't really do much about that right now, especially now that we are putting sanctions on them and stuff. That's only going to make things worse.
Yeah.
But you got to think like Putin. He praises the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
He loved it, and there's even a lot of people in Russia who, older people who did enjoy it, and so they're in a point now where it's like, okay, our economy doesn't do crap. The only thing we can do is really chase after glory.
Expand.
We can restore what once was in their eyes this incredible union, this Soviet
empire.
Union,
It's
this
their empire.
And you got to remember, Ukraine was part of that,
Yeah.
and some of the other Baltic states and
Romania.
like Romania, like a lot of countries were part of the Soviet Union,
Right.
And so it's almost like in their eyes, it's like a birthright kind of thing. Like this is owed to us. This is our country that was destroyed, and
That
honestly,
sounds
I
awfully familiar.
see a lot of what happened in what spurred on World War II was a smooth talking man who came in, took a nation that was embarrassed on the world stage, and he reinvigorated them and said, we don't have to be the laughing stock of the world. We don't have to be, looked down upon. We can show the world how great we are, kind of thing. And
Well-
it is scary to think that's kind of what we see right now.
Yeah, it is. But also on another front, with their economy tanking, what's the best thing to fuel an economy? War.
Yeah.
A war.
All of a sudden, you've got people with jobs that they need to do, and all of a sudden, you're reboosting this economy that was no longer there. And so it makes a lot of sense now.
Well,
it's-
Ukraine has resources as well, so
yeah,
and they can command and conquer.
And again, like it's a very good strategic
Yep.
chunk of land.
Yes.
Now, I did actually find a timeline. Somebody already has put together a timeline on Wikipedia
That means it's true.
of like today today and for us what is tomorrow, but is their day already. So real quick, I'll go through it.
It's like time travel.
February 24th. I know, isn't that weird? It's so weird.
Start talking in other time zones, and you're like, "Wow, man, you're from the future, bro."
We're already reading the past.
So on February 24th at 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. Moscow time, President Vladimir Putin announced in a pre-recorded television broadcast that he had ordered a special military operation in eastern Ukraine. Minutes later, missile strikes occurred in dozens of cities across the country, including Ukraine's capital, Kiev. So
They went deep.
immediately, that's like in the middle of the country. Immediately, they're already bombing cities.
Guys, I heard they started with airstrikes.
Are they were they like military strategic trying to attack?
Yeah, they were
Ukraine's
going for
military
specific
first?
cities.
Yeah.
The Ukrainian border service stated shortly thereafter that the border post with Russia and Belarus was under attack. Russian helicopter-borne troops captured Antonov Airport. However, a later Ukrainian counteroffensive successfully recaptured the airport, destroyed the Russian landing force. The Russian forces had captured the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and abandoned the city of Pripyat. The state border around 2200, so about 10 o'clock, the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine announced that Russian forces had captured Snake Island in the Black Sea following the naval and air bombardment. So we actually just watched a video, and it's sad, but it was also kind of really funny because apparently there were some soldiers, and it seems to be true. There were 17 civilians and 13. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's something different. I saw the 13 and thought it was the same because there were 13 soldiers on Snake Island, and a Russian warship pulled up and basically radioed to them and said, "Surrender, or we're gonna attack." And this is recorded. The Russian or the Ukrainian soldiers are like talking amongst themselves and like, "Should we tell them to go F themselves?" And the other guy's like, "Well, just in case." And they turned up the volume and they're like, "Russian warship, go F yourself." And then they proceeded to attack them. So unfortunately, they did end up dying in
Those
that
are some
altercation.
brave men, though.
Well, yeah, like
Patriots, right there.
these. It's crazy to think.
It's crazy.
These are the type of people that you would have seen in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, question: what would you have done in their circumstance?
Dude, I mean,
Would you surrender with the hope of survival? I mean, what was really to gain other than pride? But I mean, that is what you're standing for.
Yeah, but it stands for something. I mean, I think people will look at that. They're people, and it'll give them some hope. I guarantee it. Oh,
I don't even know. Like,
Oh, thanks. Was I
I could
quiet?
hear you fine. No, I could
Oh,
hear you
okay.
fine.
could hear you.
That's why I didn't want to mess with it. Sorry.
It's in now.
It's hard to say. That's
what
Don't
she
ever
said.
say that to me again.
I looked at you longingly.
This is one of those moments
He
where
said
I
it
think
so profoundly, too.
Right on.
Watch it.
it's where I think of that lyric
Well placed.
in that 21 Pilots song, where it's like metaphorically I'm the man, but literally I don't know that.
Yeah.
So like I have no idea. I honestly would like to think that I would be so bold to be able to fight to the death if I knew it was for a good cause.
Yeah.
Because
But,
I mean,
like,
those
I don't
those
know.
13 that died could be the turn of the war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could be the martyr that
Everybody
we
now
need
looks
to,
up to.
Yeah, now it's almost like it banded their country together,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like we
It's
can't.
like the 300 Spartans.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly. Kind of like
That's what I
you
think.
see the bravery of these and the sacrifice of these people, the martyrdom essentially, and like it galvanizes everyone else to be like, we need to fight back.
Yeah.
and just because that sparked this idea, do you think we attacked ourselves as a country because there was, and this is something you brought up, that during Trump's administration there was no war. So do you think that's why America kind of turned on itself, was because we didn't have anything like war to unite us on that front?
So there's a
People
saying.
are bored.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
saying that I've been hearing a lot lately, and I 100% agree with it.
Yep.
And the saying is that good times create weak men, weak men create bad times create strong men, strong men create good times.
Yep.
So it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're in the good times that are creating weak men.
I think it's a Hindu cycle. It's like in Hinduism.
I've heard it from Joe Rogan. I've heard it from Ronald Reagan. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a coinable term.
it's kind of like it's a natural truth.
And it all makes sense.
Well, we talked about 9/11. Think about how our country was right after that. American flags everywhere, people banding together. I mean, that was so just
Everyone was
amazing.
patriotic.
Like it sucks that it had to be such a tragic event to do that. But like you just said, it's like it's been how many years now?
Since 2011?
10, 11,
20 years? Or sorry, 2001?
2001. Yeah.
20 years.
Oh, you're still talking 9/11? Yeah, that was 2001.
It's been how many years? And so it's like
21.
the saying you just said, that cycle, there's not necessarily a time frame on it. And so
I feel like it's a generational thing almost.
and I would say 20 years is a fair generational time frame, right? So between 9/11, hard times creating good men, now those good men are creating good times, and now we're unfortunately on that downhill slope where the good times are creating weak men.
I think it goes back to World War II. I think that was the roughest time we've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah. And those were the hardest men we had in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I going back to 9/11 again, it was an event that I think it was one of the causes for why I am so patriotic. Like, I love this country.
Yep.
I see the opportunity we have here. And sure, like, it's not perfect. Nowhere is. But I feel like it's unfair to compare ourselves to perfection. Like, we should be comparing ourselves to how much better we're doing, how we're creating a better life for the world. Like, we fight for freedom everywhere. And
Yeah, I mean, we are the world's police, which is crazy.
essentially, yeah.
America.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
If there's ever a problem, it seems like we're the, bat signal in the air.
And it kills me to see, like, our younger generation and even just a lot of the people who are
Disrespect
getting a stage on social media, disrespecting the crap out of it. Anytime I see anyone disrespect a soldier in like a store or like a restaurant because they asked for a discount, I want to freaking curb stomp that person.
Yeah, dude.
You know, you saying that we're the police of the world in a sense. It's honestly the perfect example for what's going on in the country, because it's like everybody hates the police until they need them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how the world. Everybody hates
Oh,
America until it's like, oh crap, is that our enemy? America.
Hey, best friends.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just crazy what's going on, and I think also we should talk about how this came to be, because I feel like this is also new that a lot of people don't know why. Like, a lot of this is fueled. I mean, obviously, we've already talked about Putin wanting to restore U.S.
Take his country. He sees himself as this, like, again, these delusions of grandeur. He sees himself as this incredible person. I mean, he installed himself as the permanent president of Russia.
Permanent?
Yeah, this happened years ago.
I heard about that.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He basically made it so it's a democracy, but he can't be replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scary dude.
I heard too, a small part of it is the fact that he thinks, he's getting up to that age now where he knows he's not going to be around forever.
And so he
wants to leave behind a legacy. And in his mind, what better legacy than restoring the Soviet Union?
Yeah. The podcast I was listening to today talked about a poll they recently did in Russia. And like a year or two ago, they kind of asked like what people thought of Stalin, when he was in power. Stalin, mind you, killed millions of people in freaking gulags and all this stuff of his own people. And a few years ago, some people favored him, but not very many. Apparently that's gone up. Like, more people look at him as like he was a great leader in Russia.
Dang.
And I think again it goes to the fact that their economy is kind of failing, and they're they might be embarrassed on the world stage, and they can't deal with that. They're too prideful, and so he's trying to push on and start some trouble. And
Now we want Ukraine in NATO, don't we?
I think they're trying to push them towards that. But again, this is where things get weird, and I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
Because there was an agreement that NATO wasn't going to push that far into the eastern states or the eastern countries, and so they are getting right on Russia's doorstep, and Russia's taking that as a threat, and they're using it as the excuse to push back and to push into Ukraine.
Well, yeah, because Putin doesn't want U.S. military
Right on his doorstep,
right on his border.
Yeah. But
I heard too that the three biggest countries that are not part of NATO are kind of the three worst ones. You got Russia, Iran, and China. The three of them are not part of NATO, and China has already come out and said they're going to back up Russia.
Oh yeah, China and Russia are best friends, and that's
Scary.
That's scary.
That's way terrifying.
Yeah.
Wow.
But China also, they have a $30 trillion debt that we owe to them. If we get in a war, they're going to be like, well, our debt's done.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know what's wild to me?
They have some financial responsibility to stay out of it for a bit. To be honest, they'll be in the background.
Oh, I know they're just licking their chops for Taiwan. You know they are.
Yeah.
Turns out I didn't find this out till today. Japan actually holds more of our debt than anyone else.
Really?
Yeah, Japan is number one, and then China.
Oh.
And then a few other places.
So we owe Japan a ton of money?
Yeah, but we're like best friends.
Yeah.
Like
It's
like remember that one time we hated
close.
each other? Now we're besties.
Well, yeah.
It's like a couple of guys that.
Yeah.
Remember that time 10 years ago we got in that horrible fist fight?
Dude. Well, here's another thing. Another friend I was talking to brought up another scary thing. Like, here's what sucks. At the end of the day, and I've felt this way honestly since Biden became president. Our country just looks weak. We look like jokes. We were the top of the line. We were like, I think the only good comparison I can think of right now is we were that quarterback in high school that was on the top of the pyramid, was like the coolest kid in school. Now high school's over, and he's just getting sad.
And we peaked in high school.
Yeah. And that's terrifying because I feel like it's due to our leadership.
Well,
We look like a joke.
we can't even have civil conversations. Like,
Yeah. We're focused on the wrong things, the wrong issues that shouldn't even be issues, shouldn't even be questions.
Crap that we're fighting about internally and the stuff that's all over. Like,
Well, see, and that's what I'm getting at is
Yeah.
we've had nothing but ourselves to fight for the last 4 years. We're like a pent up teenager, just
we're like a
raging.
We're like a horrible married couple that we have nothing to fight about, so we bring up the past and fight about the past.
Yeah. Or like I remember somewhere it's like it's almost like humans can't survive without drama and conflict to some degree.
yeah.
I can see that.
So it's like things are too nice, and somebody
It goes back to our
start an
caveman
issue.
days, you know, survival of the fittest in whatever sense
Like,
that means.
Yeah, we don't have anywhere to focus our energy to improve or do better, and so we fight about dumb stuff.
Then everybody gets in their tribes. And it's like, we're against you. Well, we
exactly.
agree on this. Nope, we're against you.
I just hope that this war, if anything, brings us all together closer.
I hope so.
It's scary.
Like, I hope it's not for nothing. You know what I mean?
Again, the scariest thing is
We'll
like,
see what we do. Even
You know what was scary is, did you guys see the speech that Putin gave as far as how he said if anybody tries to intervene, how
nobody's gonna win.
well, he said it in a way where
he
he's like,
said he threatened like nuclear war.
He said
yeah,
we're nuclear
he threatened
advanced.
nuclear, but it was like the words he used. It was like, if you try to intervene in any way, there's going to be devastation beyond anything you've ever
Experienced.
experienced and
gonna-
comprehend. Like,
Nobody's gonna win.
Yeah, it was just,
It was a threat, definitely.
it was a threat for sure, but I don't know, man.
What's still weird though is I still feel removed enough that I feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, and
We're in a bubble.
Is that a facade? Like, is it behind the mask of safety? Like, should we honestly be more
I think the hard
concerned?
Yeah.
the hard thing is I as far as like a land like battle, I think we're safe. Definitely safe.
I mean, but if it comes to nuclear,
And at that point, it's like my dad always told me. He said growing up, they do nuclear like
Bend over.
tests and stuff, or not tests. They do like drills where they'd hide under their desk and fetal position or
your butt
whatever.
goodbye.
And that's what he would always say. He's like, bro, if you hear that siren, just bend over and kiss your butt goodbye.
Yeah.
He's
Speaking
like,
of
nothing you can do
sirens,
is gonna help.
did you hear the air raid siren that went off in what city was that?
That was in Kiev.
Yeah.
Was that in Kiev?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Holy crap!
the
is
commercial
that
they showed.
haunting?
Oh, it's the
commercial they
most
showed with
eerie-
it.
Oh, CNN.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Talk
was
about
like the-
tone deaf. My gosh.
They're playing like this Applebee's upbeat, happy music.
Literally, while there's still a picture of Kiev with air
Or
raid
video.
sirens on
And
video,
saying Russia,
and it's just
Russia's
like
invading.
chicken tenders and all this crap. And then there was a sandals commercial, a resort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like vacation here.
Come
while-
on.
But the dark humor in that Applebee's one was like something about
Fried chicken.
fried chicken.
Yeah.
It says something about enjoy some fried chicken or
It was
something
the
like that.
country
I'm like,
song. A little bit of chicken fried.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's
Cold
what.
beer on a Friday night.
Yeah.
yeah.
How can you
Yeah.
be so tone deaf? Like, come on.
That was horrible.
Are we talking about
really-
country now, or
I'm talking about CNN.
Oh,
like,
sorry.
you gotta know. Yeah, that too.
I hope it was someone's last day and they were like,
they
F
did
it.
it. Yeah. Gosh.
Just send it.
that's a cold way to go out.
I hope so.
Santa.
Like, make CNN just look like trash.
Yeah,
They did that to themselves. I mean, all
I
of them.
know, but like even more. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
I think I just saw something saying that they came out and apologized dearly for that already.
Yeah, they need to.
Well, the 4 people that are watching them. The only reason we know is because one of those 4 filmed it.
Oh my. Just dig it in a little deeper.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh, there's like a map on here, and dude, they bombed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cities.
13 today?
Yeah, just in the last day and a half.
Some of them being right along the Poland and Romania border too. Pretty
Yeah,
close.
like
Well,
all the way over there.
I think I
see-
saw that. So they are coming in from every side but the West, and on the West side, America and I want to say 1 or 2 other countries have a defense system set up, so that we're not intervening, we're not doing anything, but we're just on that West side.
Don't we have soldiers in Germany? I think.
We do have soldiers in Germany because one of my friends is there.
Yeah, we have quite a few.
Yeah,
No,
maybe-
who?
Leach. Josh
I don't know
Leach.
him.
Yeah,
Wait,
you do.
Yeah, I do.
Bachelor
Shut
party.
up.
Yeah, he's in Germany right now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that just like made my
But,
stomach turn.
Yeah.
No, I also heard today too that is it a president of Ukraine? Is that what his title is?
Yeah.
That he's in hiding because they straight up said that if they find him, they're going to execute him.
So the running idea that I've been hearing is that essentially Russia wants to go in, depose all the Ukrainian leaders, and put in a puppet government.
Yeah, and
Essentially
put
a
in their
government
own
that they
government.
control.
Yeah,
And because Ukraine is surrounded. You have Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania, which are all part of NATO,
So
right on their borders.
can we go back to the NATO thing for a second? I know he says we're breaking, saying we're not, but what if a country wants to become part of NATO? Do we say no because Russia says you can't? You know what I mean? If they really want to.
Bad.
So
I just don't understand.
let me read into it a little bit more because
on that one.
You know what I mean, though?
I looked it up today because Russia claims that we betrayed the NATO treaty.
Yeah, but
like
they're
they're
gonna look for
using it
anything.
as their excuse.
Yeah.
Is what I feel.
I mean, it's a bad excuse.
But they basically say so. So James A. Baker, who was Secretary of State, made a promise to former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev during a meeting on February 9th, 1990, in a discussion on the status of a reunited Germany. the two men agreed that NATO would not extend past the territory of East Germany. So remember, Gorbachev is the one who brought down the wall in Germany. Like, was finally convinced to break the wall that separated Berlin. But the promise was repeated by NATO's Secretary General in a speech on May 17th that same year in Brussels. So essentially, NATO promised not to go past that. And they've gone quite a bit past that. But Russia and the West finally struck an agreement in September that would allow NATO to station its troops beyond the Iron Curtain. However, the deal only concerned a reunified Germany, with further eastward expansion being inconceivable at that time. The Soviet Union still existed, and the countries of Eastern Europe were still part of the Soviet structure, like the Warsaw Pact, which was not officially dissolved until July of 1991. We cannot speak of betrayal because a chain of events that would rearrange the security configuration in Europe was about to take place. So again, this was the promise was made before a lot of these countries even existed.
Yeah. Well,
So it's like, it's kind of a weird gray area.
well, and also obviously they want to revive the Soviet Union, but once they overtake, like if they were to overtake Ukraine, what is their play then? They're completely surrounded.
Right? But they're not necessarily surrounded by...
But they're
Big
surrounded
threats?
by NATO.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, though, is they're countries that are part of NATO, but it doesn't mean they have the facilities
Yeah, that's
to
true.
really
I don't think
put
it's
up a fight.
and I don't think it's a flex because I mean that's a pretty strong flex to attack that country. You know what I mean?
And
It's
you
not
look...
just
Yeah.
Well, with the entire world, I mean, how many countries were trying to tell him, don't do it? Like, and then he just goes, yeah, I'm going to do it.
I'm
Like-
nervous. See, and I'm nervous about Germany too. I know they're our allies, but they do a lot of that pipeline that goes from Russia to Germany.
Oh, that's one of the sanctions. That pipeline was shut down.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that a U.S. sanction or did Germany do that?
I think it's both. It was NATO.
I hope Germany agreed to it because if not,
I'm pretty
What
sure.
pipeline?
Like, here's the thing.
yes,
Look at their history.
I get it.
I don't think they're gonna do that again.
I agree, but it's
I saw a meme. It's kind of bad, and it was like, it's like Germany on the side of the Allies for the first time, and it's like, hey guys, what do I do? It's like, I'm here.
so. My brother, he's been to Germany and everything. He says the older generations love the U.S., but he said the younger generations who have no appreciation for what happened at all hate the U.S. being in Germany as well.
See, that's what's
It's
so
scary.
scary. It's the younger generations, and like, we've seen those videos where, you've seen the video of the like ex KGB, like defected KGB officer in like the 80s. Oh, it's a haunting video, but it's basically this ex KGB who defected to the US, and he basically is explaining Russia or the Soviet Union's thoughts on how you ruin a country. And he talks about how it takes the course of a few generations, and what you do is you destroy their own country in their eyes.
Like you
So it's
tear it down from
psychological.
the inside.
Psychological warfare.
And what's happening?
Yeah. Well, it's like that quote that you tagged us in, where it's like a millimeter at a time. Mm-hmm. And then it's like we push just a millimeter at a time, and we push and we push and we push until you protest, and so then we back off.
Yep.
And then when everything settles down, then we push and push and push a little more until you protest, and then we stop. And then we wait, and it's like, and we just keep doing it until all of a sudden it's like, how did we get here? And it's like a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like-
Look at what's
It's a
happening in
long
our
end game.
schools with like the things they're teaching our children now. They've pushed the boundaries so much over time that they keep putting in new stuff that's more and more damaging.
Well, I just don't think they teach in schools. They don't teach anything about life skill. You know what I mean? It's
Here's my question though: what are they teaching in school that kids are retaining? You know what I mean?
I feel like they're retaining the stuff we don't want them to be
You
taught.
think so?
Yeah, that's the scary thing.
they teach them what to think, not how to think, and that's the problem
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. You should be teaching.
You know, I
critical
was
thinking.
listening to this podcast, and Bill Burr was the guest, and
Dude, I love him.
honestly, like funniest guy, but on the same line, he knows what he's talking about. Like,
Well, he's super crass. Like, he's not crass. He's bold.
Yeah.
yeah, but
He
I mean,
rants.
He's
but I
bold
mean,
and
he's-
just saying the truth flat out.
He goes
Yeah.
on the line, crosses it, comes back to the line a little bit to be like, it's okay, and then
but
crosses
I mean,
that line again.
what he's saying though is like spot on. And anyway, that I loved what he said. The question was asked, gosh, I can't remember it exactly. Something along the lines of like, what would you teach your kids if you could? And he said, he's like, just, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be I think that was about it. Like in a sentence, don't be afraid. But then he goes in to explain, it's like, you know, how many like truck drivers out there are just downright hilarious and probably could have made a killer career as a stand-up comedian, but as a child growing up, they were told, oh, that's not a safe career to pursue, play it safe, stick with this. How many great singers are out there that maybe could have been your next top singer, you know, but again, they were told to play it safe. And so he was just saying, he's all, if I could teach my kids anything, it's just, you know, don't be afraid, be brave, don't let people tell you to play it safe.
It's
in a
okay to
sense.
fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard that and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it made me think inward as a parent. It's like just little things, like when my kids are like being hyper and I'll say annoying, and it's like I'll tell them, it's like, stop being weird, like, and it's like, but it's like, man, am I hitting subconscious chords there? And it's like pretty soon they're just going to be these like robots that don't do anything and show emotion because every time they tried to be goofy and silly, what I thought was annoying was them just, you know, being
creative.
them, and I'm shooting it down. And so I was like, holy hell, like it just hit inward hardcore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it reminds me of a quote that I really like, where it says, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I
That's
honestly,
profound.
It's
My
sad,
wife said that.
instantly. It would have been like Putin on, you know, at the start of the war.
I'd have been Putin on my wife.
Oh,
Sorry. No, wrong. Sound effects Putin, not President Putin.
Pooping on your wife.
that's what I heard.
On my chest.
On the chest?
I don't know. I'm tired.
But no, but like, and that honestly, it made me think of school. Like, because how many kids are get pills thrown at them and just say, "Oh, you have ADHD," when it's
Oh,
actually
right.
they're ahead of their class. They're too smart and they're getting everything done ahead of time and have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
How many
One size.
kids are incredible entrepreneurs, but the structure of school doesn't allow them to expand on that, to explore that, to do that.
Right.
It's not a one size fits all.
And they
Yeah.
treat it like it is.
Yeah.
Well, and just because we're on this subject, there's a quote that's been going viral on TikTok that I love, and it's this therapist, and he says something along the lines of, "You can't interfere with your kid that is doing something dangerous, but in a safe manner."
Yeah.
So
Like,
fun
That's
fact.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan
That's-
Peterson.
yeah.
So
That's his
the
name.
quote I sent you guys about losing freedom,
That is
that's
Jordan
him.
Peterson. Yes. Yeah, he's a fantastic guy. I
listen
love the
to him. He's
podcast that he's on.
amazing.
I want to listen to the one where he's on Theo Vaughn, where he quotes that, where he says, "You can't interfere."
He says you
Dude's
need to
smart.
allow your kids to do dangerous things
Supervised.
safely. Yeah, you can't interfere.
You know, now that you say that, I think I remember seeing that quote, but it was to a funny video.
Yeah, they generally are. It's generally a kid
And the
doing
kid gets
something
like-
really stupid,
like-
but in a safe manner.
Yeah,
With the
'cause-
sheep?
Yeah, the kid with the sheep. He
headbutting the sheep.
headbutts
He's got
the
the
sheep,
helmet
but he's
on.
got a helmet on, and so
Yeah.
it's something stupid, but he's doing it safe.
But no, for real, like you can't.
All right,
Like
that's
I-
bad.
Like I look at it with Scarlett. So we were in Vegas over the weekend, and you know we walked the strip, and it was us. We were with Shaylee's cousins and their two kids, and like Scarlett is so adventurous. Like she's headstrong. She's adventurous. She wants to do whatever she wants.
She's you.
She is me.
Okay.
She straight up is a tiny me. And so I know that like anytime I tell her no, she's just gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
And she's gonna push. And she's like, no, I need to do it. But like I look at it and I'm like, the hardest thing about this is I don't want to stifle that at all.
No.
I want her to stay like that forever. But I'm also like, but I don't need you walking into traffic. I don't want you running up to this stoned man. Actually, we found a man passed out in the elevator as we were trying to get on. He's just like cracked out in there.
Trying
And
to
I'm like,
stay
oh,
warm.
let's go the other way. Don't touch him. Come on. You know, like it's
how you
this
get
weird,
scabies.
It's this weird fine line where it's like I don't want to crush your, the excitement you have in your
like,
eyes
yes.
Yeah.
to not pursue what everyone else is
Yeah.
doing, but to do what your heart says. But like I need to protect you, and like it's such a
There's a balance.
crazy hard balance,
Right.
Well,
It's when you pull out the paddle and just
dude. We
Well, see,
honestly,
dude, Alden.
I might be one of those parents that gets a freaking leash.
Well, and kind of. Sorry. Go ahead.
okay. So with Alden, also like he was 3 or 4, and when I watch and he's climbing a 6-foot chain link fence, and I'm like, Lisa's like, oh, I was like, no, stop.
Just wait.
So I just
We have
slowly, so he
insurance.
doesn't see. I just watch him do it, and you can see their mind and their intelligence starting to come through on
yeah.
how they're going to traverse over this. Gets to the top.
That realization.
Oh crap!
Yep.
Now I got to get over this, and then like just to watch him do it, and I ended up having to save him when he was like halfway over, and he was freaking out. But I was letting him do it just because
Yeah.
you could just see his little brain working.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to problem solve this?
But how much better is it that you let him do it, and then when he was like, "Dad, I need help," then you were like, "Here I am."
Yes.
As opposed to how often, like in Lisa's instance, you want to be like, "No, I just want to stop it,"
Yeah.
because then you stifle it, and now it could go from the child thinking, "Oh, you're there when I need you. You let me do it, but you're there when I need help."
It builds that relationship.
To you don't trust me to do it, or you're stifling me, you're
I
holding
need
me back
I need
from
you
doing
there
it.
to do it.
It's weird that little.
Exactly.
You think little moments like that change a kid's life? You think?
I do.
Just
Yeah.
over time?
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, it terrifies me because Paige is now getting to the point where she challenges herself to climb something.
Yo.
So she'll not only climb something, but she'll then see how she can climb it. Like she'll start
So I
putting
can do it
herself
this
in
way.
weird contortion-y ways, and she's trying to like climb it like Spider-Man. And I'm like, you are gonna tip that thing over onto yourself. You're
like
climbing that so
Death
weird.
March
So-
mode on Halo or something.
See, and I wonder too, like how much of it. The problem is kind of going back on like, my kid's acting weird or whatever, and I think it's annoying. In my brain, I'm like, if you act this way around people, they're going to judge you, they're going to ridicule you. So I'm going to stop it before they have a chance to make fun of you. But it's like, who cares? Like, if you've got the confidence to act, to be you, then who cares what they think?
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's kind of the same thing with like letting them do that. As a parent, it's like, I know that if you fall off that fence, you're going to break an arm. So I'm just going to stop it before it happens. When really, again, it's like you kind of got to step back. It's like, maybe they will figure it out. Maybe I'm the idiot that fell and broke my arm because I didn't know how to climb a fence.
Yeah.
But you learned from it.
Yeah.
Right?
So that same cousin we were staying with out there, I was talking to him. It's kind of a similar conversation, and he mentioned how when his daughter came and was young, he's like, I had one of those moments when she started climbing the stairs, and like, she was being very like relaxed about it and just kind of crazy on him and stuff. And he's like, you know what? Well, I'm going to let this play out. She's only up a few steps. She might fall down, but I'd rather her fall on the first 3 than at the top of the 12.
Yeah.
So we sat there and she fell. She got hurt. But then from then on, like not bad hurt, like enough to scare her.
Yeah.
To where then on she was super careful. So now she would go up and down the stairs fine because she wasn't playing like a crazy person. Because that small event where she fell, it scared her into a safer space with going up the
Yeah.
stairs.
I'm a big believer in natural consequences. Let it like it's natural, but like setting them up for a natural
Yeah.
consequence. There's nothing. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
I totally know what you're talking about.
You set them.
I do it with Paige all the time.
Awesome. It's the
Oh,
best
like,
thing in
all
the
right,
world.
this is
And it's only when they get older that you get a little. I don't know. Maybe you guys do this. Let me know. You get a little. What's the word I'm looking for?
Lax?
Kind of petty.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes I'll tell Kaylee, I'm like, don't do that. This is gonna happen, and like she'll ignore it, and you're like, okay, whatever, and they do it, and they come back and they're like, Dad, this happened. You're like, oh, weird. That sounds so familiar. I feel like did I say something like that to you? Did I say that if you did this would happen? Weird. Like you just get like petty.
Totally reminded me of that. Where's your keys?
Oh, Joseph.
Joseph.
Did I crawl under the bed, Joseph?
I'm so happy you know the reference because
Why
you
don't you
totally
put them on the
channeled
hook
it.
that says keys?
Do you want to know where my keys are? Probably on the record where it says keys.
Is that the America's Got Talent guy?
No,
know.
he's a comedian. Oh, what's his name?
It's funny
Because I saw that exact skit, and I'm
Maybe
trying to
he
remember.
was on America Got Talent. I've only seen him on it like actual stand-up.
He's hilarious.
No, yeah, okay.
Joe what?
wasn't
What's his
that,
name?
but-
Joe what?
Joseph something.
It's Joe.
Joseph.
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 Oh man,
Paige is now to the age where now she's throwing her body off of like the couch and stuff just to see
What happens?
like onto
who
the
knows,
ground,
dude. Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, she'll like run and then like jump into the cushion and then just like roll off the couch and hit the ground, and she just pops up and starts laughing. I'm like,
"This is
girl,
great."
you are
Is
crazy.
she a daredevil?
She is.
Yep.
Is she
Same.
more so than?
She is.
It's that second kid,
big
dude.
time, dude. It's
They're
crazy.
freaking nuts.
for me, it was the third.
Yeah?
Kelsey's out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They see the bigger kids and they're like, I got this.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Honestly,
No,
it's,
it is.
like today, I found her up on the counter. She had pushed the chair over, climbed up on it, got up on the stool, and then got up onto the counter.
No. Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, our windows, because our house is old, our windows have like those like wooden like slats in them. So it's like 6 different like little square windows makes one big window. You know what I mean?
Pains or whatever.
And she
yeah, I know
one
what
day, like I'm out in the backyard, and I hear Dad, and I look up, and she's like holding. This thing is only like that big, and she's holding it and standing on the other one, and she's like, like at the top of it too. And I'm like, what the freak are you doing?
spider.
Your daughter's your
is.
spirit animal.
She is. It's so true.
I love how we go from talking
was
about
just about to
Russia
say
and
that.
explosions to kids climbing on
Well,
something.
I
I said
think-
it was a squirrel episode. Who
No,
said
for
that?
sure.
I said it right at the beginning.
Well, I think like let's be honest. If we were 17 and this was happening, would we care?
No. We didn't care back then.
It's the having the skin of the game, having kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
You care now. You're like stuff's happening.
Well, it's like the last episode we just recorded. It'll be out before this, but when we talk about like the creeps out there and when it involves kids and things, now as parents we're just like, oh my gosh, I could skin them alive.
Snap his puny
Yeah,
little
dude.
neck.
But when I was, teenager and stuff, I mean, it was still sick. You'd be like, oh, that's nasty.
It was more like,
and
"Ooh,
then,
you creep."
yeah, and then you move on with your day.
You heckle them until they.
Well, and I guess, yeah, I mean, going full circle, I think what really hit home with this was that video of the airplane
Yeah, the
flying
airstrike.
low, shooting off those missiles. And as a
Yeah.
parent, you hear that kid screaming.
Crying.
Your
and-
heart.
Yeah, my heart just sank.
Yeah.
And that other video, I can't remember if I sent it, where the dad's basically saying goodbye to his kids and his wife. So there's a Ukrainian father. He's saying goodbye to his wife and kid and putting him on a bus to a safe zone. And he's staying behind to like fight. Just like a dude, regular dude, coat, hat, like not a military guy, just a regular dude. And you see him saying goodbye. I started like almost started crying.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's the reality now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the question. I know we kind of asked this before. I don't know if we really discussed it further, but are we old? Are we too old to be
I sure hope so.
to be what?
to be
To
drafted?
be drafted.
I don't know.
I still don't fully understand
I
if the
don't-
draft can even be done. Like, I
Oh,
don't know.
it can definitely be
Yeah.
done.
I remember that I swear,
Isn't
growing
there a
up,
ranking
there
system?
was something they couldn't do it.
Something like that.
There's age, and then there's dependents.
Because I mean, don't you remember
I was
the
going to say
Eminem
there's
song?
like a qualification.
It's like Mulan, man.
Don't you remember the Eminem
Foul
song?
family.
They're gonna take. What does he say? I'm 32. You're. They're gonna take you before they take me.
Oh, the Eminem song.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure they definitely go for younger without any like major connections, like
Well,
wives
and-
dependents.
I was going to say, and there has to be a name to carry, or a person to carry on the name of the family.
Yes.
So it's like if you're the only standing
Girl
boy.
dad, yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
I'll be cheering you guys on from the sidelines, boys.
I'm super screwed. There's 8 kids in my family. 5 of them are boys.
I was gonna say, I
Plus
think
Alden.
the other difference
got
is
asthma.
don't you have brothers?
Yeah.
Don't you have brothers?
I have a brother.
Okay, then both of you would go or whatever.
He's in better physical shape. He's going first.
Austin, you're the only
He's older.
boy in your
He has a
family,
boy.
right?
He has a boy.
Only boy.
Austin
Yeah.
is the only one at this table that I think is clear through and through.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'd go.
I
I'd be.
If we go,
Is there no other Spomer
Okay,
to carry?
it sucks.
here we go.
So
If
bad.
one goes, we all go, and we make our own
Sorry.
squad.
Death Squad.
Remember our story way back when we lived forever.
That's when we couldn't die.
That's when we could respawn.
What if we find some magical gem deep in the heart of Ukraine
The
that grants us
elephants.
immortality?
It's probably at Chernobyl.
It's inside the elephant's foot.
The foot. It's the toe
good.
in the
Best
foot.
thing. Oh, fun fact. So with Chernobyl, like we were talking about, like why the freak were they taking Chernobyl? There's nothing there. Turns out that's where they can cut off the river.
Yeah.
There's a big river that comes in right there, and they can essentially
Cut the water
cut
supply.
the water supply off to Ukraine.
Really?
Yeah. So
Are they
it's-
still
Was
really
it the
using?
Dnieper River or something?
yeah, it's their only like massive river.
They're using water that flows through Chernobyl.
It's nearby. I don't think it's like super close, but
Yeah, Dnieper.
That's just it. At the base of the river is
Yeah.
the Ukrainian super soldiers.
what was it? So
They're just holding out.
They're reptiles.
So Pripyat isn't
won't
that
like me
that's
when
the
I'm
ghost
angry.
city that's next to Chernobyl, isn't it?
What?
Don't geography question
You're
me.
the one watching Chernobyl.
Yeah, but I didn't pay that much attention. Jeez.
We just know
It wasn't part of the plot line.
They didn't talk about it.
I mean, it is near Pripyat.
Yeah.
I mean, I do remember that.
But also, as of last night, was it last night or today? The what's his name? The president of Ukraine ordered full mobilization of the Ukrainian
like
military for 90 days, and then he announced that all Ukrainian males
Zelensky?
aged
Zelensky.
Volodymyr Zelensky.
Vladimir?
That sounds. It's not Vladimir. It's like
Volodymyr.
yeah, it's Volodymyr.
Vladimir.
I mean, I log right into Reddit, and the very first thing that pops up is from Interesting as F, and it's him doing a summary of the first day of war with English subtitles.
Oh, geez.
So I need to definitely watch this later.
But he announced that all Ukrainian males age 18 to 60
Holy.
are banned from leaving the country.
18 to 60.
Yeah.
Stand and fight is what he's saying.
And then a captain and a corporal from the Russian 11th Guard Air Assault Brigade surrendered to the armed forces of Ukraine near Chernihiv, concluding the Battle of Chernihiv. A Russian rocket strike hit the Ukrainian border village of Primorsky Posad, and multiple people were killed. But also, like, earlier today, they were calling in anybody who wanted to fight, and they were handing out guns. So the Ukrainian government has basically made a militia out of
Trying to
anyone else too, and they're
mobilize.
like,
It's
if
seriously,
you're
it's
here
like
to
something
fight,
out
like
of a movie.
we have guns. Like,
Is there any mortality numbers yet? Or
so far I've seen not anything huge.
When I saw it this morning, it was like 40 soldiers, but I'm
Yeah, I
sure
think
it's
it's
way
still
past
less-
that.
it's crazy.
I don't know.
It's just an ugly thing.
It is.
It is. So here's the real question then. What do you guys think? Do you think we should get involved?
Yeah.
From a selfish standpoint, I want to say no because I don't know if it'll carry back home here.
And I think they're trying to push that to. It's not our problem.
Well, that's his threat too. That's his nuclear threat.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like stay out of this.
If there was a way, I don't know.
That's complex.
Yeah, that's my answer. Is selfishly, I say no because I just don't. I
Wanna be
can't
involved.
imagine trying to protect my kids during a potential nuclear war.
Do you think, though, by saying no, that it may have consequences down the road that are
Worse.
worse?
Maybe.
See, I could see it emboldening China,
Yep.
like I said, to go for Taiwan. But freak, what about North Korea?
Did we say we would defend Ukraine? Have we told them?
No,
Like formally, we said we would.
no, we just put shit. Like
Shit.
we've
It's a
we've
first.
denounced we've denounced what Russia is doing.
Yeah.
And said that we completely disprove all that stuff. So have other countries.
What just happened?
I stopped mid-word.
Oh,
What
were you saying?
I thought you were really gonna say we just put shit in their way. Like I don't know.
I was trying to say sanctions, and it came out like almost sanctions, but then I also stopped in a weird spot and changed like lanes, and it ended up being something else.
Right on.
But
So we put sanctions, but we never said we would get
Yeah.
involved in the conflict.
yeah, because again, they're not. What is it?
We're hoping to cut them off like economically, and they used a couple other words using those sanctions.
Sanctions.
Shitty sanctions.
Sanctions.
You got me all
But at the same
tongue-tied.
time, you do all these sanctions, it's going to make them more desperate too.
Yeah, like cornering a bear.
I think they already are desperate with their economy crashing and everything. I don't think
they're
he's
going,
scared.
They're going for glory, and so
Yeah.
that's what's scary, is that you now have you're using the pride of the country to back their soldiers, and it's now like you're fighting for glory,
Right.
not
Do you
for
think-
something tangible.
Do you think the majority of the country is for it? Russia? Do you think the majority of Russia
No.
is for? No.
No, there was a giant
A lot of them didn't
protest.
vote for Vladimir Putin.
There was a giant protest today in Russia outside of their
Yeah.
whatever building. Huge old protest of people that wanted Russia
outside of the
back out
Kremlin,
of,
probably.
yeah, that wanted to pull Russia back out of the war.
Or Putin said something about Ukrainian president. What is his name? Jokolov? I don't remember. But
So,
saying that he doesn't
Welcome.
want anybody to help out or anything.
Yeah, it says attack on Ukraine brings rare sight in Russia. Protests in cities against Putin and invasion, like
Well, they're going to
dozens,
disappear.
like a dozen cities.
And you should see the fallout.
Thousands
like
of
it's
people.
Thousands of people.
Gotcha.
So just so you know, it's called the lottery when it comes to a military draft.
Yeah.
And
the
we
worst
are
kind of
well
lottery.
above that age range.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're too old. It honestly kind of makes me sad that I'm
What
not
is the
even
cutoff?
wanted.
Right.
Like, at least want me a little. You know?
At least let me feel like you want me and take me through like the training and be like, sorry, you don't qualify.
Yeah.
Like,
So
darn.
it says right here, the first to receive inductions in order as follows: those who are 21, then 22, 23, 24, 25, 19, and then finally 18 and a half. So
18 and a
that's
half. The half is the kicker.
That's the ranking. What's crazy is I in looking for this, it showed
Why don't you want me?
the Selective Service registration, and it says all men within 30 days of turning 18 must register for the Selective Service.
I remember that.
I don't know if I
Actually,
ever
I don't
did
remember.
that.
Someone did. I remember some younger guys I work with saying something like that, and I was like, I don't remember doing that.
I don't know if I did.
I did.
I didn't.
Are you sure?
You didn't?
I don't think
That
so.
must be new.
No, because
No,
I
I had to.
remember the thing coming out, but I don't think I ever did it. A lot like my homework, I just never did it.
That I know I didn't do.
Is there a statute of limitations or
Statute hopefully it's less than less than 15 years.
I did it. I have my number and my card and everything in my safe.
Oh.
My draft number.
Right there next to all your shiny medals.
My
Collect
Eagle
those.
Scout medal. I'm an Eagle Scout.
We'll need your talents.
Yeah. Need you in the forest with your Swiss Army knife.
We
bud.
need this den out of this tank. It ain't running
Can you
right.
make us a lean-to? We want to get some shut-eye.
All right, I could go that way.
Ties the
too.
knot.
I mean, just because we're already on the subject, I just think an honorable mention is all of everything of what's going on in Canada as well.
Oh wow.
This whole world is just going in like
Freaking
crazy
Trudeau,
directions.
that wiener.
Okay, yeah, I gotta know this one. I don't know what this is.
So,
The trucking thing?
Oh, that.
yeah.
Yeah. I have
Freedom
heard.
Convoy.
Yeah, Freedom Convoy.
Canada just got their new tyrant.
Yeah, for real. Their little
that's true.
Napoleon, gosh. He's short. Dude, I don't know, actually. Let's spread a rumor.
I love he's 5'2". I love that
And a
little.
half.
He has to stand on a stool in Parliament.
I love that video of the kid that goes up and he's doing a selfie and he's like, "F you, Trudeau."
Yep.
And he's all
like, "Go up
smiling.
yourself." Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. Go,
Go
F yourself, Trudeau.
And then he's just like, okay. Just walks away. Like, my favorite is like in the middle of their parliament, because they have kind of a similar style to like British Parliament, where like they have the two sides, like kind of the conservative and the progressives, and they come down to like the middle and they like debate. And even though he's the prime minister, he's like down there too, like. And then some dude in a fun little suit's up top with a gavel. But
I totally wish they'd do like a
I should wear the
death.
wig still.
death. Like a Coliseum type scenario. I want to
Yes.
see, last
Fight
man
it out,
standing.
Gladiators.
So this whole thing's over the truckers and the
The vaccine mandates, the mask mandates,
right.
all that
all the
stuff.
mandates saying they're done and over with it. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say my favorite video that I've seen of Trudeau is he goes down to the floor of Parliament and he starts talking, and the other the opposers are yelling, and so he just stops talking, and all of a sudden you hear this one guy, some dude in the Parliament, he's like, "Let him talk. He's not good at it."
Dude, I just love bashing on leaders. It's the best thing
Yeah,
ever.
it's so fun.
It's because they're on the upper echelon,
Yeah.
We're like,
That's the thing, is leaders shouldn't be wealthy.
yeah, they really should.
They shouldn't be. They should be taken care of, but it should not be a lucrative career.
No.
Especially the ones kind of down from the leader.
Oh yeah,
Like in
Congress?
our Congress, like in our government, the ones who have been in it for 50+ years and they're raking in over 6 figures a year.
The ones that are
insider
insider
traders.
trading.
Yeah. Yes.
You got the high five too.
That wasn't me. Who else was that saying?
Somebody said it else, didn't they?
It was me and you.
It's just a two.
It sounded like 3.
Did you say three too?
We had the power. It was the power of the
I'll
spirit.
high
That
five
was
them.
Jesus saying it too.
Yeah.
He's on board.
He gets it. No, for real though. But like, yeah. So these truckers decided like they're gonna stand up against the tyrannical vaccine mandates. Because it's worse in Canada. That's the thing that again blows my mind, that some people in the U.S. just don't get that. You look at these countries and they have the appearance of freedom, but they don't have freedom to the extent that we do here. You literally can be jailed in Canada for saying mean things.
Really?
Yeah, they have
Well,
a
it's
hate
because no
speech.
Canadians ever say anything mean anyway.
Well, they have laws against
That's
hate
a person
speech.
lie.
That sounds Irish.
that was.
Where's your gold, bud?
That's a person lie. That's Irish. I had to think
I
about
heard
it.
no difference.
Yeah.
Watch your door.
He threw in the A.
Hey,
They speak English
hey,
With a French accent
French.
sometimes.
and French.
from Quebec.
Quebec?
Quebec.
We're not trying to alienate our Canadian friends
I
here.
heard,
Canada, dude.
Quebec. It's Quebec.
I had heard that Biden gave some advice to what's his name?
Trudeau?
Trudeau gave some advice to him, which kind of caused this strike, and so now it makes you wonder if it rolls over to here.
They're
what
trying to
Biden-
try it out over there first.
basically.
to our
There
northern
is a
allies.
freedom convoy in America right now.
Yeah, it started.
It already started.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard
Well,
it started.
and wasn't there a bunch of crazy stuff too that surrounded the Freedom Convoy? Like, didn't they jail the first person,
They jailed the organizer.
the organizer,
The
who
lady.
donated $50, right?
No, I don't know how much. They jailed the lady that organized it.
Down here or up there?
Up there.
Okay.
So we're talking Canada still.
Okay.
They jailed the lady that organized it. So this is after like a week or more of them sitting in Ottawa, right? Is the Canada?
Yeah.
Canada capital?
Yeah.
Sitting in Ottawa, honking their horns all night. I think it's funny.
That's passive
I
aggressive.
think it's hilarious.
I really hope that the communities surrounding the area supported that.
I think that I'm sure there are some that do, but there's probably some that don't, for sure. I saw a video of some guy freaking out. He's like, I haven't slept in days. And he's like, he was being all kinds of crazy. Like,
He needs
I
some
would
of
be
those
backing it
Sony-
up to like
Well-
all the way until like you're going days without sleep. Then I don't know what I'd be
Well,
backing up.
He's got
I'd just-
emergency powers now.
yeah. Well, to your point, real quick, they did have like they were setting up tents, and people in the community were making food and bringing it for them, so any of
yeah.
them could eat. Because it's frigid out there too. It's really cold, so they had tons and tons of gas. They had a GoFundMe that was into the millions.
chair.
They had like a ton of support, supplies, money, people helping them, and then the little dictator Trudeau.
The little dick.
Yep, little dictator Trudeau. He came in.
Just say the little dick.
And took
Tater.
He's a dictator.
The little dick.
little
You're
dictator.
heard of a toe mater. This is a dictator.
Oh, okay.
He came in and
He's a
basically
dictator in the shape of a dick.
that makes sense.
Looks like a thumb.
Sorry,
A
Cam.
hitchhiker's thumb. He granted himself emergency powers
Yeah.
Yes.
to
Garbage.
essentially do whatever. They went in. He brought in his like paramilitary like Mounties.
National Guard. Well, they ran that lady over, and that's sad.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was sad.
Yeah, with the horses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Got
gosh.
trampled.
Yep.
Trampled.
They're like they were breaking glass on some of these trucks and pulling people out. They essentially went to GoFundMe, and GoFundMe decided, oh, sorry, all those millions are going to be redonated to charities.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
All the
set up
GoFundMe money.
they set up a GoFundMe to support this convoy. And yeah, GoFundMe was just like, nope.
And again, it was up in the millions, and they're
Things are a little
like,
GoFundMe
no,
just backed out.
we're gonna redistribute all of this to charity because they're trying to paint this freedom convoy
As terrorists.
as like terroristic Nazis and stuff like that. When you look at the freaking
Eco-terrorists.
riots we had to deal with all through 2020, people burning cities down and breaking shit and stealing everything and beating people, and these are the total opposite.
Yeah.
And they're going at them like with militaristic.
We call
people.
that protesting.
Yeah.
But this, which is actual protesting,
is a terrorist
is a terrorist act.
attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eco-terrorism is what they
exactly.
say. Well,
And so
they're stealing. What are they?
They're holding the food
They're
for ransom.
commandeering the
Like,
trucks too, and then debating about
Yeah.
auctioning their these guys' rigs that they make a living off of.
they're stealing their trucks. They freeze their accounts. Anyone who donates. So again, sorry, GoFundMe said they were going to redistribute. Everybody freaked out, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to issue like refunds." So then a new business or a new website was set up to do like a GoFundMe type thing. That one mysteriously got hacked, and all the money was gone.
oh my gosh.
So they're taking their
They need
money.
to just
They
pick
came
a
in
guy
and-
that they can trust. Be like, hey, hang on to this cash. Like, and just
They came in and confiscated all their gas.
Yep. Fuel.
They were arresting local food business owners for feeding anyone in the convoy. If you gave anyone food, they shut their businesses down.
So is this still going on? Are they still fighting this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still very much going
They
on.
essentially
Matter
like,
of fact, that's almost bleeding now down into U.S.
it's
They're
already
a freedom.
started.
Yeah, they've started a freedom convoy here in the U.S.
They're
Yeah.
driving to
But are they?
DC.
Is government winning up there? Or are they?
I don't know. That's the hard thing. Again,
I don't know.
we need to see more social media posts because I don't trust what the media's showing us.
Canadian. If we have any fans in Canada, let us know what's going on up
Yeah,
there.
let us know what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what's going on. But like, I think it's a hard thing because it's like the truckers are one of the best people to be doing this right now.
Oh yeah.
You literally can stop the country.
Honestly, it's freaking genius for the truckers to be the one to kind of stand up because it's
they're
like
the backbone.
you're cutting out, major artery. Like,
Yeah.
I just remembered.
Yeah.
So Trudeau ordered a bunch of whatchamacallem, tow trucks to come in and start removing the semis and stuff. And he threatened them, like threatened their businesses, threatened their money, all this stuff if they didn't do it. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of those tow trucks showed up and joined.
Yeah.
Like you see them like backing in these big old massive tow trucks, and they're backing in and like, hey. But like they're all
Be great if they towed away
They're like-
Trudeau's car or something.
well. Don't forget that at the
Walk home,
beginning,
Trudeau.
at the beginning of this, remember how he got COVID?
Oh yeah.
Right at the beginning, oh, truckers are coming. Oh, I got COVID.
I got COVID.
And then he was sequestered for safety.
yeah.
that bringing up the COVID thing too, like that reminds me of that post you put up about the Russia thing again. About the guy, like, they are jamming all kinds of people into tight spaces, trains and stuff. It's like, and only 35% of Ukraine is vaccinated.
and
2%
no
only has their boosters. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's the least of their worries right
Yeah,
now.
for real.
Like,
If you are so brainwashed to where you see planes dropping bombs and you're worried about them not wearing masks, can you please go over there too and try to catch one of those bombs?
wear a mask, though.
Yeah, wear masks
Mic drop.
for yours and everyone's safety.
Well, it is weird that everything's reversing.
Yeah.
But then, so that
Right? Nothing
freedom.
got rid of COVID faster than a war.
Yeah. Well, also
No, it was poll ratings.
that too. But did you see that the freedom
Convoy.
Gosh, they were actually going to target the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Back when it was going, but then I don't know what happened. That's what I had heard. But isn't it ironic that at the Super Bowl there was like 100,000 people, not like anyone was wearing masks, but then all of a sudden California
And it
kids
was in California, yeah.
and kids the very next day going to school all had to wear masks.
Well, and since then, California has lifted its restrictions except for kids.
Outside. They can take their masks off outside.
Yeah. Dude, it's ridiculous. But apparently, just recently, Trudeau revoked the emergency powers that he gave himself from himself. However that works.
I would love that power.
But essentially, there's all those jokes and stuff. It's like, it's like Trudeau at the beginning. I give myself emergency powers, and it's like then he sees polls, and he's like, I revoke my emergency powers. I denounce Ukraine and or what Russia's doing to Ukraine. It's like, bro, look what you just did to your own people.
yeah.
You freaking run over ladies with horses, and then you're like, Russia, don't do that. That's wrong.
Last bit of news because I know we got to get going here. I forgot to mention this back on the Russia thing, but QAnon actually came out and said that they were targeting Russia. They're hacking the heck out of Russia right now.
Yes.
So we'll see how that goes.
They are good for something.
Yeah, get 'em.
They came out onto their Twitter that
Right
they
on.
hadn't used in years, and they're like,
QAnon or Anonymous?
I thought they were the same.
No,
Anonymous
no.
runs QAnon.
Anonymous, do
Oh,
they?
no,
Anonymous
no.
is those like they're the hackers that wear
Yeah.
like the Guy Fawkes masks.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, QAnon's different.
What's QAnon?
QAnon's
Yeah.
that kind of like right wing conspiracy thing. talks about
Pizzagate and all
Pizzagate
that. How
and-
Trump's still president, Biden's just a fake.
I don't
all
know
that
any.
stuff, yeah.
I don't know any of that.
No, yeah,
That's
I know
weird.
you're talking Anonymous.
Anonymous. Yeah.
Yeah.
That group of hackers.
Yeah.
So they're
they
still
came
not
out-
good for
They came out and they said that they're targeting everything in Russia. So
Dope.
we'll see.
They did crash. Oh,
I
yeah,
love
Russia-
cyber stuff,
Yeah,
man.
Ukraine did shoot some of the planes down.
Yeah. Russia's better at hacking than we are. So is China, though.
But are they
Are
better
they?
than
Are they?
Anonymous?
I don't know. They've stolen all of our technology. China has.
Well, that's because we have them make it.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
here.
We literally give them the blueprints and say, "Don't make this yourself."
they hack it.
Have you ever had a pair
they
of
hacked
fake
our
Beats?
presidential
They work just
election.
as good.
Do they?
Yeah.
They sound just as good.
Yeah, dude. And they look and feel the same.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
$20.
The what does?
Fake Beats.
Oh,
Cheats.
Yeah. Or my favorite. You ever see those memes where it's like, I finally found a PlayStation, but I had to buy it on Wish.com, and he turns it
no.
on, and it's like, doot, doot, doot. Bluetooth is ready to bear.
I did see that. It's freaking hilarious, man.
Oh man! But
All
hey,
right.
there's our hot take on what's going on in the world.
there's our squirrel episode.
Hey, and we never ever claimed to know it all.
No.
But we do like our hot takes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love that it actually has a name. Hot
Yeah.
takes. Like
Exactly.
Hot squirrels. I mean, takes. Squirrel takes.
we
Hot squirrel take? What are
So
you watching?
squirrel
takes.
Do
So
not
squirrels
Google
and-
Browse that.
Squirrels and your wife being profound. That's what does it for you.
Hot squirrels and
Profound women.
profound women.
squirrel takes.
Now I got to get on my accent.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, we on this podcast we make it a point to not get super political. I do take pride in saying that no one is safe whenever we talk about anything.
Yeah.
Like there's not one side that we fall on. We are very unique individuals with different views, but no one is safe when we talk about anything.
No one, not even ourselves. We're not even safe from each other.
And we don't claim to be professionals or know too much about it, but
Depends on what we're talking
And
about.
and let's be honest, if we ever get more information on anything, our thoughts could change. That's what you do when new evidence is presented before you. You
Yeah.
reassess.
yeah.
Yes.
But right now, our hearts are with Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's heartbreaking what's going on over there. Really, no words that you can say to really
I can't think of any justification. There's no justification.
It's sad, really.
It shouldn't be happening.
No.
So we're with heavy hearts, but we hope we at least brought a little bit of light to the subject and hopefully educated someone. And Zach is hardcore sleeping.
He's
I'm
been
not.
asleep the whole
I
time.
have been.
I'm
made-
surprised he stayed vertical, bro. I
know.
almost got him a pillow.
I know. I fell for
I
him,
stood
dude.
up to get him a pillow. And I was
wanted
like,
to,
if he's
like-
going to sleep, might as well let him sleep.
Maybe we get him a special chair that's like got a bar and like a strap for his head, just holds him. So he can sleep, but he's like up.
No, it's like that narcoleptic girl on Deuce Bigelow where her hair's tied to the coat rack. She's
Yes.
Get him a stem machine so you can just like make him move a little bit every once in a while.
Put a shock collar on him.
Yeah, that's the stem machine.
And the funny
There you
thing
go.
is I see him and I see him jolt awake and he's like, and he has to talk
He's
to
like,
me.
where am I?
And he has to talk to me. I'm like, I'm not talking to you, Zach. You've been asleep.
Right? It's like he's trying to figure out if it's his turn to talk. You guys expected something from me.
We'll just put a
think they asked me
needle
a
coming out
question.
of his mic and he'll poke the needle every time.
Ouch.
All right. Time to wrap it up.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody. Thank you
Thanks,
so much for
guys.
being part of this crowd.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.